Good afternoon, everyone. BC Richfield here, coming to you live from London. The time has just gone 3 p.m. UTC. Welcome to Congress Day 4. If you're just joining us today, if you've not been here from earlier, very, very excited to bring you something in the NFT and gaming space today with someone that's a good friend of mine and a company that we've really got a lot of interest in, CryptoMon. So, without further ado, I want to crack on with this because I know there's going to be loads of questions. I know we're going to get lots of alpha about this. But before we jump right in, let's just have a very quick word from our sponsors.
Milk Metaverse is a metaverse platform for the media industry that will bridge the gap between the content producers and the audience. Mediaverse from Milk Platform will be a combination of virtual reality, blockchain technology, and artificial intelligence. Visit the website metaverse.milk.global.
Awesome. Welcome back, everyone. So, like I said, super excited to get us onto this. So, let's not hang about. Let's welcome our guests and let's crack on. So, I'd like to welcome Amit and Toma with us as well for CryptoMon. How are we doing, guys?
Great to be here. Thank you so much, Reese.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking time out, guys. I know how busy you are. Toma, in fact, has just got off stage presenting live. So, that's some commitment to wanting to be part of this. Now, I'm quite inexperienced in this space, right? I was very fortunate to meet Amit when we were in Paris and again recently in London. You know, he sold me on this absolutely head over heels and really got me excited in it, right? So he's now brought Toma on with him as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to start things off, just give people a little bit of an introduction to you guys and then a little bit of CryptoMon as well. So Amit, if we start with you.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity and thank you everyone for watching. I'm Amit Peled. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of CryptoMon. I've been in the space for it's almost 9 years now, from March 2014. Bought my first Bitcoin, bought my first Ethereum at 2016, like $10. And ever since then, I've been advising and working in the space. I was a chief token architect in a security token company from 17 to 19, advising in the space. And I had like a short stint in the gaming industry in a company called Playtica, as a New York Stock Exchange gaming company. Worked there for a year and a half and then left Playtica in order to join CryptoMon.
Awesome. And what about you, Toma? What was your journey into this adventure?
Hey guys, my name is Tom Rooney. I'm the CMO of CryptoMon. Well, I've been doing digital marketing for the last 22 years. I myself an active stock investor and crypto investor for the last 2 years very intensively. Got introduced to crypto around 2016 when I understood that it's not a hoax. Before that, I just had Bitcoin like as a fun thing with the gambling with my partner back in the day. We didn't actually understand how it works. We just know how to make money from it by speculation. And that's it. What can I say? Enjoying being in CryptoMon. And that's it.
Well, I think you've said a lot with very few words, right? I think that both of you with the experiences that you bring, and Toma, I mean, that's an incredibly impressive amount of time to be into digital marketing, right? Very competitive space. And again, with the kind of gaming the side that you come from as well, Amit. Now, I suppose one thing that CryptoMon have obviously done very well is attract good people, right? So, I mean, tell us a little bit about the project. Obviously, what attracted you guys, but what's CryptoMon all about?
So I'll start. I got to CryptoMon actually as an investor. I was one of CryptoMon's first angel investors. And there I met Amit the day that I lost all of my tokens because I had no idea which wallet were my tokens on. Yeah, it's a funny story. That's how Amit and I became good friends. Since then, I never left him. He's trying to run away, but I'm not leaving him. That's it. And then I was the CEO in my company called Visense, operating until today, the digital marketing agency that I have, performance marketing agency. I needed an adventure because I was bored. I saw this CryptoMon thing, this monster blockchain Pokemon thing on chain that I've invested in, suddenly making 36x. I was like calling Nimrod and Amit and like, what is happening? Like, what is this thing? And then I kind of understood like what is going to happen. I needed an adventure. They needed someone to manage marketing, and we just found each other. I left my company. Thank God I'm not a CEO anymore, and I'm the CMO of Cryptomon. So this is my journey to the company, and been having since day fun in crypto worldwide, actually.
Fantastic. I mean, what a journey going from being an early stage angel investor to then thinking, actually, do you know what? I want to get out of this marketing race, right? I want to get into something that excites me and kind of follow a new adventure. We won't bore you with mine now, but it's similar kind of background to me, really, in terms of leaving traditional worlds and coming into a space that was more adventurous. And what about you, Amit? I know we've had many evenings sitting there talking about all kinds of stuff, but the viewers really need to know, really need to know a little bit more about you.
Awesome. Sure thing. So for me, I've been a long time gamer. I was a competitive gamer when I was a teenager, like Tekken, FIFA, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike 1.5, 1.6, Hearthstone. I've been playing games in the space, in the Web 2 space for a very long time, always been competitive in all of them. And at least I know I met NFTs in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 3 years into my crypto journey. And to me, it was at least in 2017, it was more about art, real estate sometimes, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just very new. Not a lot of people were interested in it. It wasn't like the buzz that took place in the 2020 era.
Mm-hmm.
And due to that fact, I thought, oh, okay, NFTs are nice. Now, in 2019, I was very fortunate in investing in the seed round for Axie Infinity, and for me, NFTs in gaming became like the ultimate use case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a gamer, I always would have played hundreds of hours in games that I liked, but I never had the opportunity of monetizing my time, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just played through, played until I got bored of the game. Didn't have the ability to transfer my assets to anybody else. Didn't have the option to exchange my assets for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Just creating in-game value that I couldn't monetize.
Mm.
And this was a significant pain point for me when I was younger. And then suddenly, when Axie Infinity, who wasn't the first company, the Web3 gaming company who used NFT for gaming, but was the most prominent one, I was like, okay, something here is really interesting, and this is pretty much how I understood the value in Web3 gaming, because I didn't have any previous, working experience in the gaming space. I decided to join Playtica, the gaming company, to learn more about, product funnels, user acquisition funnels, marketing funnels, and so on, to understand how they actually do it in Web 2 in order
Mm-hmm.
to try and bridge it into Web 3. So I spent a year and a half there. In the day, I was, actively working in the company, while at night I was actively trading for my portfolio and the portfolio of others. So basically lived like a double life, like Superman, but not quite. Um, but yeah, I did this for a year and a half, and then in April of last year, the Cryptomon opportunity popped up, and then for me it was a easy choice
Mm-hmm.
to transition into it, and been going great ever since.
Awesome, man. I think one of the things that really resonated with me there, for myself before becoming a trader, is from very much from a business background. And I found one of the things when I came into this space with gaming companies, especially, and other companies, was there was some amazing devs, right? People that could build you anything you could imagine, right? But there wasn't so much of a plan or a monetization aspect behind them. So the other thing that resonates with me is what you said about the pain point, right? Now, one of the first things they teach you, Business 101, right, is find a pain point that needs solving, right? And then when you can solve that, right, then you've got a case, something that causes you so much, you think, do you know what? I need to fix this, right? I need to fix this. And I think that's very much looking at that is the kind of aspect that you've taken on it. So before we get into a little bit more about, about Cryptomon, why don't we? You guys have got a little trailer, yeah, of the game, and then
Yeah,
you've got
yeah,
an
of course.
updated one
It's
as
still
well.
like, yeah, it's like, it's a month old trailer. So ever since then, Crypto One significantly developed in terms of quality. But let's show it. Why not?
Awesome.
No, that's not the right video.
Ah,
The
my
second
bad.
one.
This
Yeah,
one. We'll show you the other one afterwards.
World was
no problem.
discovered. We never could have imagined just how much life had changed forever. In a new land untouched by man, we found paradise. The vibrant, green forests as far as the eye could see, crystal clear waters as Mother Nature intended. It was no surprise that Cryptomon trainers from all around the world began pouring into Kogia, to be among the first to pioneer this new world. But we were naive. Just like a rose has its thorns, Kogia was not without its dangers. There was so much of this alien world that we didn't understand, and the creatures in the darkness that we never meant to offend. It is time for you to make your mark in Kogia. Journey across the world as you grow into the Cryptomon trainer you were meant to be. Your potential is limitless. But it's what you choose to do with that power that will define you.
Now that is a massive tease. Look at that. I know we've seen some bits and pieces, right? And you and I have spoken since. We've got another little video as well to show how this is developing. And actually, I think one of the things that people will see, what they'll notice, is how far you brought that along in. Did you say it's a month or something, isn't it?
Yes, yes. It's the 27th of October is when we released the trailer, and we're now on the 24th of November, so slightly less than a month.
I mean, things do move incredibly quick in this space, don't they? But I
Definitely.
think what I want to do is just hold back as a little teaser from that, right? And then get people a little bit more involvement and tease them in. You show them the video in a little bit of a time, because what I'd really like to dive into now, which is something that really interests me, is this is a super competitive space, right? People are coming at this with all kinds of angles, yeah, and you guys have managed to kind of find your own niche as such, but you're certainly operating in a way that's attracted a lot of high caliber people. You've got a very good team behind you. You seem to know what you're doing on the marketing side. Again, a side that seems to fall down with some people, especially in the gaming space, when they can build these incredible things, but they're not really thinking about the use case so much. So how did this kind of manifest, for want of a better term, right? How did you guys select this? What was the motivation behind building this and targeting this specific area?
So in order for you to understand like the core concepts or the core idea behind crypto, and I'll go like almost 2 years back. So Umberto, the CEO and the founder of the company, he is an avid gamer, a big Pokemon Go lover. Still plays it to this day. He's at his 30-year-old, but he still plays it all the time. And around a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, he had this idea of trying to bring this type of game into the world, as he believed that the Pokemon idea didn't fully develop all the way, and there was no blockchain company building this type of game.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I think, like maybe February of last year.
Wow.
So he was working in a venture building company. Basically, that company was building third-party product for large companies, for example, Philips, Nestle, Nesquik, those type of companies. And he was a product lead there. And he said, okay, let's see if I have a product market fit, so to speak. And he released just like a landing page with the idea of what he plans to build. And he said, okay, let's see if people are registering, if people are interested in this type of concept. So he shared this link. I think he spent like 100 euros on Facebook ads, just sharing his idea with a link to register. That was like the call to action. And it went really viral, and he got 80,000 people registered with that 100 euros. Yes, insane. And after this happened, he was like, okay, I think I have something interesting here. So he brought this to his team, in his company, and they have a growth hacker, a community manager, project manager, and whatnot, and a designer, of course. And they said, yeah, of course, let's build it together. Sounds amazing. We brought several other people along the way. We're around 35 people full time today in Cryptomon worldwide, pretty much every continent except Australia and Antarctica, with another gaming studio assisting us as a third party with like 12 people assisting. So we've gotten pretty big. We got really fortunate to conduct equity raise. We raised like $10 million in April. So we were
Wow.
really lucky to raise at a good time, because I think that, the problems moving forward in this, what we call a bull market, bear market slash crypto winter,
Mm.
is the inability of companies to raise funds and the inability of companies to continue developing what they're building, what they're planning
Mhm.
on building, meeting their roadmap, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I think we were very fortunate to do our raise in April, because now, we have a significant runway to keep on building and to continue positioning ourselves to be one of the leading Web3 games.
But that's absolutely amazing. I mean, Toma, from your kind of perspective on it, someone that comes from very much a marketing background, obviously there was something really drew you in about this. So there was something that really appealed. So thinking of it from those terms, because I think this is this is a point I think that could help a lot of devs, people that are building, right? Because actually you guys are a company, it sounds like, that have built this based on an initial kind of passion to build the game, right? That kind of point where someone's come in with a very clear idea. Then they've kind of taken a business head to it, though, right? Putting it out there, testing it, not just trying to get seed funding, kind of spend all this money building something out, generated the interest in it, and then have kind of built from there. So, from a marketing perspective, what was it that really excited you about this in terms of your thoughts on, why you think this can have the adoption that it's had, and the interest that it's had?
Great and interesting question. So I think the biggest I saw a huge challenge in this project, right? Like when I took it upon myself to lead the marketing when I joined, I saw that although we have a huge community of speculators in tokens and speculating about the success, the community does not interact as a community still,
Mm-hmm.
and the community basically interacts as a bunch of people who just bought something and now waiting for this thing to be worth more so they can speculate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, back in the day, we didn't have the game, we didn't have visuals of the game. It was basically like a white paper and speculation after the IDO. That's when I joined.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very chaotic. It was basically driven by the promise. Projects like Axie. Back in the day, the play to earn concept, which of course we are a play and earn company. It's
Mm-hmm.
different than play to earn. We will discuss it later if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was driving, to that speculation around the play to earn industry, and people there were very confused about what we're going to create. No one actually know how it's going to look, how it's going to feel. Everything looked lame. Excuse me. Everything looked like shit in the beginning, and I saw that there is a need to guide them, and to separate them to start the explanation process about what Cryptomon is actually creating. So we knew that
Mm-hmm.
we're going to create like a monsters game, with NFTs. That was the simple part. That's what everybody knew. They knew it's going to be like Pokemon-like experience, similar to the idea, right? We have trainers, we have our monsters that are NFTs, and we're going to train them for battle. But there was a lot of confusion of who does what we're going to do, what's the roadmap, what are these NFTs actually, how we're going to use them. So the first thing that we started doing was making order. We started to create localized communities. We saw that in the main group, we have many people speaking different languages to each other and creating huge chaos in the big chat room in the main Telegram.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing that we've done, we started separating them to localized groups. So we formed Cryptomon Japan, Cryptomon China, Cryptomon Brazil, Cryptomon whatever, wherever. We have 18 communities now, localized communities, and we started bringing from within the community modes that will manage these communities. So
Mm-hmm.
Cryptomon is a very community-driven project, by the way, from A to Z, from the funding to the creation of the game to the community management and concepts that we use up until today. Like on our everyday, our community is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of marketing, biggest challenge was to take this bunch of people and create from them one huge community of believers, people that will believe the Cryptomon mission, will believe in the Cryptomon concept and will support the Cryptomon team so we together can create this amazing game that we were able to create today. Because when we started, man, we just had a JPEG of an egg, generic JPEG of an egg, and people started buying this thing for hundreds of dollars, and people even bought it for dozens of thousands of dollars. Then today, when we are, of course, the believers that stayed with us understand what they actually bought and understand the value of what they bought when we're presenting this immersive 3D world and experience that we're having. So biggest challenge and biggest thing that drove me, into this was the fact that unlike most companies and challenges that I led the leads to, players to, buyers to, whatever to, in this challenge, we need to create a community. We need to create a tiny country called Cryptomon with Cryptomon believers that will interact with us. Will go with us to NFT sale events on Binance. Will go with us to NFT sales on crypto.com. Will mint from our unique events in our marketplace. Will buy our token. Will stake our token and will not drop it to the market when the times are hard. That will stick to us on the alpha stages and will try and will give us feedback from their precious time about how the game experience is, what they like, what they don't like, and will help us create it with them for them. So this thing is like never nothing else I've done before. Very unique experience, and from the marketing perspective, it's a great challenge. And we had to do interesting things to stand out from the crowd because it was very crowdy back in the day, if you can remember.
Yeah.
Many companies, every day you had like 20, 40, 50 IDOs of play to earn companies and play to earn games. And we had to do different things that will put Cryptomon at the center and will make it shine more than other projects. And of course, in times of busts and scams, we had to gain also the legitimacy from projects and from the community to understand that this thing is a little bit different, that we are the real thing.
I mean,
But
that's
this is like a talk for another time.
no, yeah. I mean, we could go on for a long time, really go deep. I find it all quite fascinating, actually, because the dynamics behind creating a good community, and one thing that you see with a lot of very, very good games, and is the community, right? You've got people that are buying in at such an embryonic stage; they're buying into something that's an idea, right? Literally at that point, like you said, then you've got people buying into the egg. Fine, you've got your founders, you've got the team that you create behind it. But like you said, you guys have been through two very unique kind of stages with this, right? You've been through the big boom stage when there was you and millions of others. There's lots of money to get thrown about, but there's lots of options, right? Difficult to stand out. And now you've kind of transitioned, like you said, that big funding round that you guys had in April. That's amazing, right? Because you're getting into a time now where the purse strings are as tight as they can be, right? People aren't, like Amit touched upon, people aren't putting the money into the space. People are a lot more cautious over their investments. So I suppose this wasn't part of my initial thinking, really, but how do you approach trying to foster a community like that, right? Because everybody wants a good community, and actually, one of the big things that attracted me to the Nest is what Burb had built, right? But you come in very knowledgeable people, but that was very much based around the education factor. I think taking, like you guys said, a very uncertain industry where there's a lot of scam artists, a lot of false information, a lot of influencers that don't even trade, creating a hub for people that want to learn. And within that, you see and you get an element of self-management from that community because people are so invested in what they've got. They want it to be a good space. They don't want it to be a toxic space. So as long as you can foster that in the right way, then in gaming, you've got this huge challenge, right? You're dealing, I would imagine, with a much younger demographic. People's attention spans, as we know today, are a lot shorter. When you've not got a lot as such tangible to offer these people, you've got to be providing something really interesting or really unique, right, to get that kind of loyalty from them. And it sounds like you've got a lot of people from the early stage that are still with you today, and you've still managed to maintain that good community. So what's your guys' focus on that, or what are your thoughts on it, creating that community and managing it?
So I'll just say something and let Tomer lead it. Obviously, he's the CMO, so let him lead everything that he about community growth, obviously. But I think from the get-go, we had a very strategic approach as to understanding that the concept of building a game means that we need to put community first. And ever since the beginning, and the reason I fell in love with Cryptomon is because I saw how transparent the founding team is, and I knew this will resonate with the community as well. I've been an investor in the space ever since 2014, and I invested in many projects that went up and many projects that failed miserably, obviously. But I think that the key perspective, the important metric for me is honesty. And I think that from day one, what I appreciated is the fact that the team is completely honest and completely transparent. And that was before that I joined, right? That was the reason I joined. And even in the early days, for example, contrary to most projects who did, let's call it a minting sale of their NFTs, sold a bunch, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 collections, and then opening them for sale on OpenSea or other platforms. We actually, our first 1,000 NFTs, we airdropped them to community members who conducted like their engagement. So on their engagement metrics, they got rewarded with NFTs. So we never even had this first initial sale. It was only an airdrop to the community members who are the most loyal. So even on that front, we chose a different angle. Even in the way we approached guilds, we didn't approach guilds until today. We're soon to approach guilds, and not in the same model that the gaming industry was used to in Web3, where gaming guilds buy NFTs from the company, and then they conduct marketing support to the company, and then they bring aboard their scholars to play and earn, play to earn. So yeah, we're taking a very different approach, and I think that our community sees that, and I think this is one of the our unique value proposition. For example, when we just started the first sketches of Cryptomon, even before we had our first NFTs, we actually ran polls on Discord to see what people like more, which sketches they prefer, and not only giving them what we think they'll want by actually giving them a voice. It made them, it made them far more invested in us from an emotional perspective, because usually you just buy a token or you buy an NFT and you trust the company that that built it to make that company grow and the value to rise, obviously. But when you understand that in the gaming industry, you're not building a game for yourself, you're building a game for your community, then you need to give that community a voice. And I think this is something that we did slightly different than other companies. I'm not saying if it's better or if it's worse. I'm just saying that it's different. And I think this is what made us unique from the get-go.
I just before I let Toma take on that one, you've given him a very high bar, by the way, with that answer. I think that I'll just chip in with a little bit here, Toma, then just answer the whole thing really well.
By all means.
I think from what it sounds like, you've always had the community very high up your list of priorities, right? It would surprise me, or it does surprise me, that especially in the gaming space or any space really, that people don't get their communities involved more, because, like you said, you're not, and where you see so many gaming companies start and fail, and some of the games can look amazing, right? They got they're brilliant looking, they've got everything about them, but there's just maybe not that involvement. Maybe there's not the community behind it. Maybe there's not the interest, not the monetization. But speaking to your community, involving your community, you're bringing people in that are going to be emotionally invested, right? We all do it with stuff. You'd all see someone famous on TV and be like, "Oh, I hung out with that guy doing so and so," or "I knew that guy before he was famous," right? No, nothing more so than a company you're investing in, right? You see it with things like Apple. Apple had an unbelievably hardcore following of people that were with them for the early days. The whole Simon Sinek sessions about how Apple focused on the why and stuff like that, and how they built this cult kind of following. Sounds really similar to what you guys are doing there. So, I mean, that aside, that's obviously an incredible answer, Toma. Do you have anything to add on top of that?
Well, I think that you guys kind of hinted about the two things that we had. So one of the people I appreciate most in this world is Simon Sinek, and the golden circle of the why, how, what. And I think that basically everything I've done in my life in terms of not in my life, but since I saw him speaking on that TED Talk of the golden circle, I've tried to create in exactly this way, the Apple way, like how to try and stand out and explain to people what you do and make them believers. That's what
Hmm.
basically, it's all about. So,
Yeah,
and that's
not
what we
selling
do in
hard to
crypto.
them, is it? It's making
Yes,
people buy into the
we
why of what you're doing.
exactly, exactly, and that's exactly what we do in Cryptomon. That's what was I try to do in the company since day one. What we're doing up until today.
Hmm.
So the key, we'll not go into too deeply into the golden circle. I recommend to everybody to watch it
Definitely
on
on the TED
YouTube.
Talk.
Check it out, Simon Sinek. Check out this TED Talk. I'm a huge fan. Um, Transparency is the key, guys. First and foremost is transparency. Be transparent with your audience. Be transparent with your community. Let them ask. We were doing many up until today. We do these AMAs, we do these talks, we do these. We're being hosted by friends like you, and different talks about crypto and about the industry. We always wear our heart on our sleeve.
Hmm.
We, as you know, we never prepare for these talks.
No.
So we don't have prepared questions with prepared answers and what you would ask me and what we will say and what we will present. We go on natural, we be us. You can ask us whatever we want live and we will answer
Hmm.
like truthfully of what we have on our mind or what we have on our plans.
Hmm.
So that's what was the most important thing while we created our community
Hmm.
to make them really believe in Cryptomon
Hmm.
and believe in us, the people who lead
Hmm.
Cryptomon, who create Cryptomon.
Hmm.
So it's all about transparency and honesty with the community.
Hmm.
Now, not only that, but you need to give the community also the stage, the ability to ask you and communicate with you freely. So many projects are managing their communities while sitting in their high chairs, right? So they have their community mode, and it's a community mode, and they manage the community. And if someone is asking a question, they will answer, I will need to check with the devs. Let me get back to you on that. They don't really know.
Hmm.
So with us, we are part of the community, guys. Like we are there. You can just tag me and I
Hmm.
will answer to you. You can DM me and I will answer to you. You can tag Amit and he will answer you. So we're very transparent. We're there with the people. We are part of the community.
Hmm.
So this is something that is also very important while creating a trustworthy project
Hmm.
for a community. To be honest, to be transparent, and to be there. Not
Hmm.
to sit on your high chair, not to put yourself away from the audience, saying you are the people, I'm the creator, I will
Hmm.
speak when I want to. Be there with the people. You can approach Umberto, our CEO, 24/7. Just tag
Hmm.
him. You're speaking to the CEO of a company, of a $50 million Web3 gaming company. Just
Hmm.
tag him and DM him. He will answer to you. I promise to you. It's that
And I bet
easy,
there's
that
not many.
simple.
I bet there's
Yeah.
not many people that could do that. And I can relate to that in terms of when I came into the nest. And it really took me by surprise, actually. You've obviously a lot of big names in there, none more so than Burb, and just how active he is in the chat. People tag him. I would still say to today, he does more posts, is most active in the chat, in the community, in everything. And again, being very humble and transparent, because let's not joke about it, right? It's a very opaque space, right? Crypto,
Yes.
and then you get these massive, tsunamis that take you out of nowhere, like the FTX situation and stuff like that, right? Then I think moving forward, something that I think is really going to be prominent is how much people rely on that trust now, rely on those communities, right? Rely on those people that are transparent, that are showing them, because during the bull market, people get caught up in a lot of stuff. There's a lot of that momentum driving you. In the bear market, people either start to lose a bit of hope or they start to question everything. But I think the good thing that comes out of situations like that is that you get companies and people that stand out above that, right? People that want to offer more, people that want to change things for the right reason, people that aren't just jumping on a bandwagon because they think there's money to be made, people that see opportunity, right? People that want to solve problems, which again, I feel that really kind of describes you guys quite well. You know, I think there's lots and lots of games, especially in the bull run. I mean, it was crazy how many projects were starting and going for fun. I mean, you couldn't even count them all. It was astonishing, and you guys have come through that kind of, if you like, that overindulgent space where there were so many opportunities and so much money. Now you're looking at the opposite, where there's less opportunities and there's almost no money, right? And you guys are still getting the funding. So, I think one thing I'd like to kind of go into a little bit, because I know we're going to run out of time so quickly, because as it does, and to back up what what Toma was saying earlier, we sat down, we had a couple of points on this agenda, and just before we stopped, we had a few minutes together before we started this, and just turned around and said, just go with it. We're here to answer whatever you want, whatever the community want to answer. We haven't got this design set of bits and pieces and whatnot. So I tell you what, we've got this other video from you guys. I don't know if you want to kind of talk over this bit at all or kind of tell people what it's like, but it's a slightly newer video, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken? And
Yeah. Definitely should show it. Actually, this is the first time in the world that this footage is going to be presented in this in this video now. First time ever that it's getting outside of companies' hands. It's not even in our community yet.
Yeah, our community hasn't seen it yet, so
They
we
haven't
hope
seen
that some
it.
of them are here right now.
I think we can see some of your guys here, right? Because
you're showing a teaser that no one has ever seen yet.
Come on, people, smash up the likes for this and give these guys a follow. Let's take a look at this. I am super, super excited by this. We took a very brief look at it earlier. We've got a little bit of kind of a gameplay aspect and that to this, haven't we? So, yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah, so it's important to take a note as to how we see Cryptomon moving forward if we're already talking about the video. Basically, it's divided into three aspects. The first one is what we call Cryptomon Genesis. It's what's live now. It's like a 2D game that revolves around Tamagotchi, CryptoKitties, and Pokemon in a 2D version, battle mechanic. You have both player versus environment and player versus player. Well, you take care of your Cryptomon as a Tamagotchi function, so to speak. Taking care of it, feeding it, nurturing it, and training it for battles. And soon we'll also have tournaments live, so you'll be able to battle against other people in a tournament structure. And we have what is called the treasure hunt. Tomer, do you want to share about the full moon treasure hunt?
Yeah, of course. I will just say that I'm not sure if you see it. It's stuck on my screen. It's stuck, and I must say,
stuck on a few.
Right?
It's stuck on a couple of screens. Let's see. That's our fault, our end. We've got something going on with the playing software. Let's just
no worries. We can watch it later. Important also to say that the quality, of course, of the video doesn't show like the real.
That's nothing. Let me just try and play
quality
of
the game.
There's a real.
But what you're looking at, guys, this is already like a AAA quality game. I'm not sure if you see it because of the streaming. But
the streaming is making it a little bit out, yeah.
Yes. So as you can see, Cryptomon has already become to a stage that we're creating. We started as Pokemon meets Tamagotchi and CryptoKitties, and it's already became to a point that it's a Pokemon meeting World of Warcraft and CryptoKitties.
How did you make that transition? You know.
Kudos to our game development team that are doing. All our development team and tech team guys are doing amazing work. They're doing the actual magic, right? Our lead Brian there is doing amazing work with his team to create this immersive world and experience. So this is where we are at now. Hopefully it's going to be released in 2023. You can already start playing it. And as Amit says, we have basically in Cryptomon now. We started as a project, and now we became a Web3 gaming company. We have three experiences that you experience with the same NFT. Excuse me. In each experience, you are doing something else with your NFT. You gain attributes and metadata to the NFT that later on you are using in the other games. So we have the casual game, the 2D game that is Cryptomon Genesis, that is already out. Very simple, straightforward game, 2D, Tamagotchi-like battles. You choose your team of 3 and you go and have your battles. You have Cryptomon Pink Moon, which is our treasure hunt. It used to be called treasure hunt experience. It's a real life AR, augmented reality experience, similar to Pokemon Go, if you know it. You go around your phone every full moon and you go and hunt your own Cryptomon in the wild. So in Cryptomon, you don't have to purchase Cryptomon. You can also wait for the full moon, download the treasure hunt, the Pink Moon app, and go and hunt it in the wild and find both Gaemon and Cryptomons and various in-game items. So this is our real world experience with the
Hmm.
same NFT. We have the Cryptomon Genesis experience, and of course, we now have the immersive Cryptomon world experience where you actually live, train, explore, and go out to adventures with your Cryptomon, get missions, etc., immersive online game, etc., etc. You will be able to experience again,
Hmm.
hopefully by the beginning of next year. So yeah, that's where we're at now in terms of development of the game. We have these three games. We're all connected to the same NFT, same
Hmm.
Cryptomon. So in Cryptomon Pink Moon, your Cryptomon does something. In Cryptomon Genesis, it does something else, and in Cryptomon World, it does something else. You have three experiences with the same
Hmm.
NFT, and the attributes you gain in each experience affect the attributes you get in the other ones. So
Oh,
it's
okay. So
super
it's across.
cool.
It's all across the three
It's
different games then.
cross three different games, so it's super amazing.
That's
That's
really,
how
really
we're
interesting.
yeah, that's how we're preparing for this. People like to throw the word metaverse. Like
They
it
do.
became like a trend saying metaverse. What is
Yeah.
a metaverse, man? I used to play like shooters, Call of Duty. Is Call of Duty a metaverse? I'm
Mm.
going with a gun and it's a 3D world and I have my character. Is this a 3D world? I can shoot Amit, Amit can shoot me. Is Fortnite a metaverse?
Mm.
No. So I believe that the actual concept of metaverse in Cryptomon, we believe, is to actually create the experience
Hmm.
of digital life within within these digital worlds,
Hmm.
to create your own digital experience in this own digital world, these digital spaces. Create digital experiences
Hmm.
in all enhanced way, thanks to Web3 technologies, blockchain
Mm.
technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a question here from one of the viewers actually saying, and I imagine they're familiar by the sounds of it with what you guys are already doing. Will there be mounts within the third world?
What means mounts? Excuse me, pardon my question.
Yeah, Chris.
What does it mean, mounts?
Mount is
Will there
as by
be?
mountain.
Yeah, mounts by mountains. What is mounts? To
Hmm.
mount something
I'm
on
not
the
sure.
game?
Let's see, Chris. Can you clarify that for me, buddy? Because we had quite a nice lot of comments from you today. So someone that I imagine is maybe familiar with the ecosystem. We'll wait for Chris to come back on that point. But
Maybe mean mints. Will there be mints in the 3D
quite
world?
possibly, yeah. Maybe
Maybe it was a typo. Maybe it was a typo,
okay.
and they
Sorry,
just said,
mounts. Can we ride on the Cryptomon? So like a mount, like a
can you
mountain.
mount, like mounting the
Oh, to
Cryptomon?
mount the Cryptomon. Okay, now we
Yeah,
Oh,
understand.
similar to within the World of Warcraft. Thank you, Chris. Thank you
yeah.
for the
Yeah, yeah,
clarification.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for clarifying. So we will actually have to ask Brian what he plans to do with the game.
Yeah, and it's
Still under develop.
still
I like that. I
no,
like
it's still not. We're not talking about mounting or not mounting Cryptomons yet.
at the moment.
Um, yeah. Currently, we're only showing the version where you walk around and the Cryptomon follows you.
Hmm.
The cool thing about Cryptomon World is we also have a very extensive lore. So we have a big storyline behind it. We have a comics surrounding it. We already have a lot of the comics out already. So if you want to read more about it, you're more than happy to hop into our website. But the
Awesome.
cool thing about it is that the lore is also connected to the 3D world. So in Crypto One
Hmm.
Worlds, you have 8 areas that are 8 factions of the 8 elements that are in game.
Hmm.
And just to understand the scope of it, to walk from one side of the map to the other takes around 40 minutes. So
Hmm.
it's a
Wow,
pretty
pretty big.
extensive, yeah, pretty extensive 3D map.
Awesome, man.
Chris,
How
I
much
can
is
give
that,
you a
guys?
little, I can share with you a little secret, but it was
Ooh,
like inside company conversations.
ooh.
So
Always,
nothing to, we're
always
not
from
promising
somewhere.
any, yeah, we're not promising anything. We're still not developing it. We're still not doing it, but I'm just saying that we like it and we might go for it.
Ooh,
So
I like
we're
this.
all very big Mario Kart players,
Yep.
right? We all grew up on Mario Kart.
Ah, love Mario Kart.
So we have an idea to do something similar in Cryptomon. So you will mount your Cryptomon for racing. It's not inside, we didn't think about it inside the world, like to go with it, but you will be able to mount it if we will release the Cryptomon kart game that we would like
Yeah.
to do, the Cryptomon racing. So
Oh,
there you will be able to mount it.
so I
We're
mean,
Yeah,
not sure
good
if it's going
good
to happen
thing.
and where it's going to be.
there's so
Good
many
thing you have
directions,
a
isn't
chief.
there?
Good
Like,
thing you have a chief strategy officer that guides strategy, and then people just say whatever they want on stream live, right?
it's the joy of
So
the joy of
good.
the industry, isn't it? It's
Yes, yes. Umberto and Tom are always a pleasure seeing them go live and just
keep you
discussing
on
everything.
keep you on your toes, don't they? Don't worry, guys.
Yes,
Probably only
yes.
a few thousand people will see this. They'll tell a few thousand more.
Plan to the
Before you know
trash,
it,
you know?
gone. I can see you
Yeah.
Give
rewriting.
us a week and we will have, like a Cryptomon soccer game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose one of the challenges for you guys with something like this is you can take it as far as your imagination wants you to take it, right? So it is actually, I suppose, looking at the bits that you're going to do that, that you want to do, because there's so much potential, isn't there, to kind of go wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Right, guys, look, we're coming to the end of this, right? But I think something that we always like leaving our viewers with what we would call like a golden tip or something. Now, and it's a little bit more for the trading side. People say use this, use that. I think really there's so much value in this, and you've obviously got a really great following and the people that are coming in. But I think actually probably the biggest learning point for me that people could get from this is if there are people that are aspiring to get in and aspiring to launch games or kind of take the path that you guys have taken. So I mean, it's a bit of a curveball for you here, but I suppose what would you kind of say to those people if you've got devs out there that want to make a game, they want to bring it to the light, and they want to share success like yourselves, and have and build that kind of community? What would you say a golden bit of information you could give to people that want to build something like this? What would you advise them?
Oh, well, Amit, should I or should you?
Take it because Ari, my son, is
Okay.
now.
And it's just rewriting the
No,
whole business plan
no,
after
What
you
will I?
promised
no.
Yeah.
crypto
What will
card.
I tell them? What
Tell
will
them
I tell
whatever you
them?
can. And my son is just like, I'll show you. I mean,
Well,
my son is just,
There
pick
he
him
is.
up,
yelling.
pick him up, showing
He's
the real
yelling,
celebrity of the
yelling,
show.
dad, dad, dad. So it's very difficult to collect your thoughts.
I
So
will I will
Tomer, take
pick
it
this
away.
one. I will pick this one up. So I
Good
think
man.
that our best advice is build something that you want to build um, out of vision and not out of greed.
Hmm.
Um, Many people, most of the industry, I'd say, we saw it in the last bull run, were basically building white papers and nice
Hmm.
websites out of greed.
Hmm.
They didn't actually create projects out of passion. They didn't create projects out of vision.
Hmm.
They were basically trying to make a quick buck.
Hmm.
So if you're trying to make a quick buck, well, you're probably not in the right place, guys, because we're in a bear market. Um, I'd like to say winter breeds mammoths,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So this is the best time to create your mammoth, to create your dream, to create your vision, because if you will be through that winter, if you will be able to survive it, guys, bull run is easy. This is the difficult part, to sustain yourself and survive in the bear market. So there's no good time to start developing. The
Hmm.
development should start now. So if you're a game developer, you have a good idea for a game, just go for it, guys. Go start
Hmm.
working on it, develop it, live this project, your project, live your game. There is no better time to start creating than today. Then
Hmm.
my best advice, if you are really into it for the passion and for the vision and not for the quick buck to scam people, start building today. Just go for it, guys. Jump into the waters.
That is a fantastic bit of advice, and actually, what I love about it, without knowing it at all, you've tied in massively well with what our motto is for the whole of Congress, right? Which is the best time is now, right? While everybody's losing hope, losing focus, looking to other opportunities, and that people are missing the huge opportunity that exists. Like you said, and another brilliant quote as well. I haven't heard that one before, but I'm afraid I am going to steal it, which is that winter breeds mammoths, right? I couldn't agree more, right? I was fortunate.
All yours. Enjoy it.
He's going everywhere, Toma.
Yeah,
I'll
Tomer
credit
didn't
it to
NFT
you.
it. You can take it.
I'll leave that in your hands, Amit, the NFT master. But I think it's right, though. Look, people, when they get discouraged and they move away from these things, they fail to see they fail to have the foresight to see what you can do in these situations, right? How you can bring these things to bear, how you can build in these times, right? So I don't think there's any better way to leave it than that. And other than just to say a huge, huge thank you, Amit, Toma, for coming on here, giving all your time, right? Honestly, it's so appreciated. It's appreciated by our community. We've got tons of viewers on Twitter. We've had loads of really good questions come in onto here. We're going to have a load more people watch this. I'm going to grab all of your stuff, give them a big like, guys. Go and find out more about Cryptomon. Go and connect with the team. See if it's a community you can go and be part of. We're going to share some information with you guys so you can get yourselves on the website and you can find out a whole lot more. But just for now, I'd just like to say a really, really huge thank you to you both. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. And let's make sure it's not the last time we do it, right? I really want to be connected with this journey. And I know Amit will keep me updated, but Toma, it feels like we need to still sit down and see the future success of this together. So let's get you guys back.
You're always welcome to Tel Aviv or wherever you will be and we'll meet. Beer on me.
Well, thanks to Amit, I'm now eating about 5 shakshukas a week. So I
he's a big shakshuka fan now.
I've become obsessed with it. It was one of many things, and I'm definitely going to get to Israel as well, guys. So I'll definitely come see you guys.
Amazing.
In Tel Aviv.
We're waiting for you over here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Look, guys, thank you so much. What an absolute
pleasure.
Thank
you for having us.
To speak to you both. Have a fantastic Christmas period lead up. Really excited to see what you guys are bringing in 2023. So huge thank you to everyone. Please stay tuned, guys. We got more coming up. But from me, from Amir, and from Toma, and from Cryptomon, we'll catch you around very soon. Goodbye.
Thank you guys.